Welcome friends. Today I'm planning to discuss about from Aphorism 31 to Aphorism 35. As we seen in the previous aphorism, especially in the 30 aphorism, we see that the law of nature, very beautifully we see the law of the nature that in 26th aphorism, the weaker dynamic affection is permanently exhausted. That is, a weaker dynamic or weaker power can be permanently removed by a stronger force. And in case of the, we see now in the present 31st aphorism, we can see everyone is not get naturally diseased. Even though the entire space, entire atmosphere, everything is surrounded or everything situating near to us is surrounded by almost all kind of infectious, this inimical, this physical, partially physical and partially psychical energies. Everyone is not getting infected. Why? A person can only get, Dr. Hahnemann states that a person can only get infected when or at the only time when he get adapted to it, or when his organization, when his mental, such things get deranged or such things get disturbed, that this morbid factor, this morbific noxious agents can get adapted inside the human body. At this condition, at this specific moment, the person is get affected. And this is also based on the susceptibility. So we say that disease is a dynamic derangement. In the footnote of Aphorism 31, Samuel Hahnemann clearly states that he called disease a dynamic derangement because they are not mechanical, not chemical alteration of the material body, but they are depend on the material body. It is nothing but they are the spirit-like force which is deranging the vital force, who is known as the disease. So disease is nothing but the spiritual derangement, that is the dynamic derangement of vital force. In the 32nd aphorism, we see that even though everyone is not affected by the natural diseases, all are affected by the medical diseases or medicinal diseases. We can make everyone, even if he having low susceptibility or even if he having high susceptibility, we can make everyone diseased, everyone suffered with disease by using an artificial morbific agents, nothing but the drug force. In every real medicine, namely act at all time, under all circumstances, on every living human being and produce in him his particular symptoms, which are known as medical diseases. In case of medical diseases, there is no difference between persons. There is no classification. For a medicine, everyone is human. Every vital force is vital force. The medical, we see the natural disease force, see discrimination. So this person has low susceptibility, so we can't attack him. This person has high susceptibility, so we can attack him. Such things will seen by the nature. But the artificial thing, he is a human. He is a human. He has a heart, he has a hurt. So I can affect him. Such a thing, such a way, this drug force, the disease produced by the drug is acting. And this aphorism number 32 become the basis of the principle behind the keystone of the formation of doctrine of drug proving in homeopathy. In the coming aphorism 33, in the aphorism we see that Dr. Hahnemann says what we seen in Aphorism 32, that the artificial disease or the medical disease produced by the drug force is superior and more powerful to the natural diseases. We know that as per the laws of nature, survival of the fittest. As a strong agent comes, the least agent, the low weak agent have to move out. The same power is here. This is giving us the power of, or what is the principle behind the homeopathic cure, homeopathic perfect cure. This is because the artificial morbific agent, nothing but the drug force, is so powerful and it is too energetic and superior to the natural disease force. When the superior comes, the inferior have to move out, and that's why the inferior disease is moved out. But there is an exception that we will discuss in the coming aphorism, that is coming aphorisms. In Aphorism 34, we see the medicine can effect a cure if they can produce the exactly similar artificial diseases. This point is very important. If the disease is so superior, if the disease has so power, it cannot cure. The main principle behind the cure of homeopathy, the main principle behind the cure that can only possible through the homeopathic medication is it produce exactly similar malady that it have to remove. This artificial disease will thereby extinguish and destroy the malady in human. As per Dr. Hahnemann added that no previously existing disease can be, or no disease can be cured, annihilated or removed by a dissimilar drug force or dissimilar disease. Even the nature can do it. We know allopathy, dissimilar. The dissimilar diseases is nothing but the allopathic therapeutics. They can only suppress or suspend the diseases, but in certain occasion a mild cure or the cure of the presenting complaints can be possible, but it will result or end up in a higher complaint. That we can say as a rhinitis. When we go for a rhinitis to the allopathic section, we feel completely cured, but it's not completely cured, it suppressed it. As the medication suppressed the expression of the disease or the derangement of vital force as through the rhinitic symptoms, it is then expressed as the rheumatoid arthritis. And even if you suppress it, it will soon express as myocardial infarction, and soon it will cause death. That's why that is the main thing which results in the suppression and which will causes the end. As we go through the Aphorism 34, this is true that no previously existing disease can be cured, even by nature herself, by the addition or use of a new dissimilar disease. For fighting in the war, we see if there is a gun war, then the two parties will use gun. If there is an arrow war, then the two archery war, then the two will use archers, the arrows. If there is a sword war, then the two party will use the sword. If one party is carrying the sword, or other party having a machine gun, the machine gun party will survive. That's the survival of the fittest, because he have more powerful. By using the axe or the sword, he have to come near and hit him. But by using a perfectly trained person, by using a machine gun, he can even shot him within a notable distance and destroy his enemy. So the dissimilarity should not occur. We should have the similarity. And see, dissimilar disease, be it ever so strong, and just as little can be cured by medical treatment with drugs which are incapable of producing similar morbid condition in the healthy body. In the next aphorism, aphorism number 35, in order to, we see that Samuel Hahnemann says, there is no need to illustrate any kind of cases in this case. It is not naturally we can express it. We are continually seeing this in everywhere. This is a continuation of aphorism number 34. The treatment with allopathic drug, that is the old school therapy, is unsuitable as the allopathic drug is incapable of producing. Correct, drugs are incapable of producing similar morbific condition, that is the disease to be cured. That for curing the drug we studied that there should be a similar power. But as allopathic drug cannot produce such similar things, then how can it will cure? It will not cure, and the cure is impossible in case of allopathic remedy. He states that the nature is also unable to remove a disease with a dissimilar disease even if it is too stronger. We studied in the previous aphorism, that the aphorism 33, if the factor is too strong, the strongest artificial morphic agent can remove the weaker agent. But if it is dissimilar, how can it will remove? When there is a fight between a copper salt and an iron salt, then the iron salt will survive. If there is a fight between an iron salt and a metal gun, then the metal gun will survive. Because in case of the copper salt and iron salt, both are similar. The copper is somewhat weaker to iron. But even though the iron is so stronger, if we use a copper gun to shoot, the person will die in the war. The similar way, if the disease, the nature itself cannot cure it with a dissimilar state. Nature can only cure it with a similar state, because nature is based on the similar principle. Nature is based upon, as we seen in the aphorism number 26, as the nature is also dependent. Homeopathic law of nature says that the weaker dynamic affection is permanently extinguished in the living organism by a stronger one is very similar to the former in manifestation. If it is very similar and stronger than the presenting manifestation, then only it can cure. That's the truth. So the nature can't cure. As per the law of nature is like this, the nature will not violate the laws, and if the nature is not violating the laws, how will the cure with a dissimilar remedy can be possible? But he also states that there is something is happening by using the dissimilar disease. What is it? By using the dissimilar diseases, the disease is not cured, it is suppressed or suspended. As we see, when the disease is suspended or suppressed, its action is not there. Its expression is not there. As the expression symptoms is removed, we feel that, yes, I am completely cured. If fever is getting raised, by using an antibiotics, the fever is getting to normal. Yes, I am feeling completely calm. I am feeling completely normal. Whether he is getting normal? No. He is now under the suppression only. His disease is there, but his symptoms are stopped. Like we are cutting the larynx away or cutting the voice box away from the person to stop his words. Yet we know the symptoms are the words or language of disease or language of vital force through which it says us that I can't suffer it, I can't resist it, please give me a help. But we are saying it is too much, I can't hear it. You are giving mercy killing. You are suffering too much, huh? So here's a mercy killing for you. Take this allopathic remedy. Here's a mercy killing for you. Stop your crying. Stop your suffering. Stop making me suffering, and die. Like this way, the allopathic treatment is working. So as we are discussing once again, from the aphorism 31 to 35, in the first aphorism 31, we see that a person can only get diseased by a natural force if and only if he is susceptible to it. But in the 32nd aphorism we see that in case of a medical disease or in case of an artificial modification, nothing but the drug force, there is no such susceptibility is needed. It can produce disease in all person without a consideration or without a exception. And in case of 33 we see that the disease force or the artificial morphic agent which can produce similar kind of diseases, similar kind of symptoms which have to be removed in the disease, such drug forces or such artificial disease produced by the medicine is so superior and so powerful to the natural diseases. Because of this, the cure is possible as per the law of nature, survival of the fittest. In the 34th aphorism, nothing but it's it states that not only the power, not only the strength of the artificial modification, nothing but the drug force, it also the similarity of the artificial modific agent which produce the symptoms exactly, clear-cutly similar, not same, similar to the disease which it have to be cured. It is possible to perfectly cure the disease, and by using a dissimilar force it is impossible to cure the disease. And when we discuss it more, Hahnemann says that the method is followed by the allopathy system or the old school of medicine is somewhat wrong in the aphorism number 35. That is, they are wrong. They know what it is and they know what they are doing, but they don't know how to practice the exact way. And whatever the drugs they are giving, they can only produce a dissimilar, or they are dissimilar to the disease that they have to treat. So when we administer a dissimilar thing, there will not cause us a cure. As for this pen, this cap is to be put. Instead, then only this is perfectly fit. Instead of this, when we use this cap, it will not perfectly fit. Like the same condition, when we use the similar things and similar power, they causes perfection and perfect cure. If we use a dissimilar things, that causes imperfection, and it's only causes a suspension, because putting the cap to the pen is for preventing it from external writing and such things. This cap is perfectly fitted. It will prevent it from, and also from all kind of damages. In case of this cap, it is also preventing it. Suppression, but it will not last for long. I think these aphorisms are helpful for you. Please read the text of Organon of Medicine. Thank you.